Hello, friends. You will be able to listen to your favorite sleep stories without any ads, only and only on the Neend app. So install our app to stay connected with us through stories.
Hi, I am Srishti Singh, and today I am going to narrate a beautiful story written by Anandita Ganguly. The Secret Adoption. The Secret Adoption is a beautiful story of friendship, love, and care. Two hostel roommates, Nilam and Anita, have just started their first year in a prestigious engineering college in Pune. The girls adopt a squirrel and they have quite an amazing adventure with it. Despite the hostel having strict rules against keeping pets. Before we move on to this beautiful story, make yourself comfortable in your favorite position for falling asleep. Switch off all lights and close your eyes. Take a slow, full deep breath and let go. It is time to set the world aside and let go of your day and begin your gentle transition into sleep. Take another slow, full, deep breath and breathe out any tension in your body. All there is to do now is relax, rest, and be restored. You're in bed now, feeling your body relax from the day. Beginning with your feet, allow the tension to go out of them now. They have worked hard for you all day and deserve a rest. And so the relaxation in your feet begins to find its way into your ankles, your calves, and your knees. And now relax your upper legs, your hips, and feel this relaxation flowing up into your abdomen and lower back and your upper back and chest. And feel this peaceful, relaxing feeling flowing down your arms, into your hands, and out your fingertips. And then up into your neck, head, and face. Now your whole body is perfectly calm, relaxed, and ready for sleep. Soon, you will be sound asleep, off on a peaceful journey into dreamland that will carry you all the way until morning. So as you continue to listen to this story, begin to follow your breath. Relax your entire body and settle in for a wonderful sleep experience. Here we begin this beautiful story. Hi, do you have any idea when this counseling thing is going to be over? Asked Neelam. Yes, I asked at the office counter and they said that it will be over by 5 p.m. replied Anita. Thank you. I am Neelam. I am hoping to get the electronic and communication stream. Which stream are you looking for? Nice to meet you, Neelam. My name is Anita. I too wish I could get the electronics, but then you never know, replied Anita. That was the first conversation between Neelam and Anita on the day of the counseling at one of the most reputed engineering colleges in India, located in Pune. They talked for a long time. Neelam was from Delhi, while Anita was from Chennai. Despite coming from two different states, they felt a sort of connection between them, like long-lost friends. During the course of the next 15 days, Neelam and Anita not only entered their dream stream of electronics and communication, but also became roommates. The college was strict. Their classes began at 9 a.m. in the morning, so they had to wake up early, get ready, have breakfast, and then go to the college. Every day they had 7 hours of classes, with a lunch break in between, when they could come back to the hostel and have their meal. After the 7 hours of classes, the two friends would go out to explore the city. Both of them had a special love for tea and samosas, and they would set out every evening to find out the nicest samosas in the city. The city felt warm and welcoming. This was the first time they were both away from home, and they felt homesick for the first 2 weeks. The hostel had strict regulations. No one could stay outside after 6 p.m. They were not allowed to go home unless the college was closed for a vacation. Visitors were not allowed to the rooms. The initial adjustments with the hostel food and round-the-clock classes felt sort of difficult for the girls. However, they started liking their new life. One morning, while they were going to college, Neelam noticed something under the big mango tree and pointed it out to Anita. Oh, that's a really tiny creature. What is it? It looks like a baby rat, said Anita. No, it's a baby squirrel. There are tons of them around the college garden too. But why is it here, down under the tree? Replied Neelam. It must have fallen off. I've read somewhere that birds and animals abandon their young ones when they fall off from their nest, said Anita. Do you have anything in your bag that we could feed him? Looks like it is feeling cold too. Neelam fished out some biscuit crumbs from her bag and placed it on the rock in front of the baby squirrel. It was shivering, so she placed her scarf on the ground. We are getting delayed for the basic electronics class. The professor must have already reached. Hurry, Neelam, said Anita. They almost ran towards their classroom and entered the room just in time before their teacher did. All day, the classes kept them occupied. Even during the lunch break, they could not go back to the hostel. They were held back by some work in the library. So they quickly grabbed something to eat from the canteen. At the end of the classes, while walking towards the hostel, Anita suddenly remembered the baby squirrel and insisted on checking on the little creature. They went under the mango tree, and the squirrel was still there, shivering, trying to feed the crumbs that Neelam had kept for it. What should we do? If we leave it here, it will not live any longer. Its mother has not taken it back, said Anita, with a worried tone. Neelam smiled and said, I say, let us take the little baby with us. We will keep him in our room. It is only both of us in the room, so that will not be a problem. What do you think? Anita was not impressed. And if we get caught, have you forgotten how strict the hostel warden is? They check the rooms thoroughly every weekend. Neelam, don't do this. We will be out of the hostel. Out of the college too, maybe. Don't worry. I am in love with this tiny baby. You will also love him. Look at his face. Please, let us take him to the room. Please, said Neelam.
Hey friends, introducing Neend, an app filled with sleep stories, guided meditations, and relaxing music. Install the app to enjoy stories without interruption. Available on iOS and Play Store.
Anita agreed, and they wrapped the baby in a handkerchief and placed it in Anita's backpack. So, the baby squirrel got a new home. Room number 43, Swasti Kunj Hostel. The room had a large window with grills and glass panes. The two friends went inside their room, locked the door, and took the tiny squirrel out of the backpack. Anita placed it carefully on her table. It quivered a little and then sniffed. Such a cute personality he is. Let us name him, suggested Neelam. How about Freddy? Asked Anita. Just perfect, Neelam smiled. They took out some biscuits from their jars, crushed them, and put them before Freddy. The hungry squirrel nibbled them a bit. He has eaten something at least. The poor creature must be sleepy. We need to make a comfortable bed for him, said Anita. So, in the next few minutes, they piled up 3 t-shirts and made a tiny cozy bed for him on the corner of the table. Then they placed Freddy on the bed and used the handkerchief to cover him up. They concealed this corner of the table by piling books from every side. Nobody would know that there was a tiny squirrel in this room. Neelam glanced at the watch. It was time for the attendance already. Soon the housekeeper would come to the room to check on them and mark their attendance. Let's change and sit at our tables and pretend to study. Mrs. Saroj will be here soon for the attendance, said Neelam. Right, said Anita. So they sat at their tables and pretended to read books. Mrs. Saroj knocked at the door, peeped in, saw both the roommates studying, marked on register, and left. The girls heaved a sigh of relief. They went to check on Freddy. He was sleeping peacefully. Neelam switched on the table lamp to keep him warm. The friends were excited. They were happy to bring the squirrel to their room, and they were happier to take care of him. The hostel was strict, and it somehow felt so satisfying to defy the rules today. The squirrel became an important part of their lives henceforth. They were downstairs for dinner, spent some time in the common room with other friends, and then at 10 p.m. they returned to their room. They found Freddy breathing well and sleeping soundly. Anita said, "He's so beautiful to look at, even while he's sleeping. Let's read a little bit about squirrels. We need to know more about their food and habitat," said Neelam. They spent the next 2 hours reading all about squirrels on the internet. It was interesting to know about them in detail. They noted down everything in their notebook. The tired girls, who would usually fall asleep by 11 every night, could not sleep on that particular night. They went on discussing how they would take care of little Freddy, their new pet. They did not know when they finally fell asleep. Next morning, they woke up early and found Freddy awake and trying to crawl with his tiny feet. They gave him some more crushed biscuits. Freddy ate a few crumbs. "Freddy, you had your breakfast. Now get some sleep. Be good. We will be back in the afternoon," said Anita. They went downstairs for breakfast and then went to the college. They checked on Freddie again during their lunch break. After their classes, they went out to the city to get some squirrel food. They brought nuts and sunflower seeds. They also got a small cardboard box from the grocery store near the college gate. When they got back to their room, they crushed the nuts and gave them to Freddie. They also kept a tiny bowl of water near him. Freddie ate a bit of the crushed nut and slept with the peaceful look on his tiny face. Neelam and Anita were glad. The next day was Sunday, and the two friends spent the whole day making a house out of the cardboard box they had brought the other day. Their tiny pet needed a proper and comfortable home. They bought miniature stuff from the toy shop to place them as accessories in the house. And when they were done, indeed, it was the prettiest house one could imagine. There was a living room, a washroom, a tiny kitchen, and a bedroom with the coziest tiny bed ever. It had tiny cushions and pillows and a furry blanket. They placed Freddie on the bed carefully. He fell asleep immediately. Neelam and Anita watched him for a long time. This tiny creature could so effortlessly cheer them up. Freddie eventually became comfortable in his new home. They hid his house under their beds so that no one could notice it. The girls were very protective about him. However, they had a tough time keeping Freddie out of the eyes of the housekeeper and also the other hostel mates. They did introduce Freddie to some of their close friends, and they would come to play with the little pet, bringing him treats of nuts and toys. One day, the warden visited the hostel and announced a surprise checking of all the rooms of the hostel. The authorities carried out this kind of checking to find out if girls were keeping any heaters or induction ovens. These kinds of things were forbidden, and there were strict rules against it. Neelam and Anita were scared. If the warden found out they had kept a pet squirrel, she would definitely take serious action against them. They did not have much time and had to act quickly. The warden was very strict, and she would check everything in the room thoroughly. So there was no way they could hide Freddie. Their close friends were worried too. There was not a moment to lose. The girls got together and thought of a plan. It was decided that when the warden moved out after checking room number 36, which was their friend Aditi's room, Anita would carry Freddie in her bucket and pretend to go to the washroom, while she would stop at Aditi's room, place Freddie there, and return to her own room. After the checking would be completed in their room, they could bring Freddie back. So Freddie was safely shifted to Aditi's room for a while. Neelam and Anita were in their own room. The warden knocked at their door and came in. She, along with the housekeeper, started searching the room. "What is this?" exclaimed the housekeeper. Neelam and Anita froze. "It's our dollhouse. I like playing with dolls, ma'am. Since childhood, I have loved dolls. So I've bought this dollhouse," Anita blurted out. "I have never seen an engineering student playing with dolls," laughed the strict warden. "Anyway, fine. Keep it if you like to play still." "Thank you, ma'am," said Anita. As the search team left the room, the girls felt relieved. That was a narrow escape indeed. Over the next 3 months, much to the astonishment of the two friends, Freddie grew up very fast. He grew his luxurious brown coat of fur. He had 3 large stripes running across his back. He had tiny hands and feet, and had cute fingers and toes. His ears would always be up and alert to every sound. He had a bushy tail too. But the best part about Freddie were his eyes. They had a twinkle of mischief and fun to them. Now he could also run about the room and play. His favorite place was his own bedroom and Neelam and Anita's lap. He loved to eat out of their palms too. He would run about from their head to their arms. He was so swift. One evening, after returning from their college, the girls found Freddie missing. They were worried and looked for him everywhere in the room. They called out his name. They searched his house, their beds, tables, and also their cupboards. But Freddie was nowhere to be found. "Where could he go?" asked Neelam. "He's so tiny. I hope he does not land in some danger," exclaimed Anita. They were sad and missing him terribly. They did not even go downstairs for dinner that night. They did not feel like eating anything. Both the friends were awake late at night and trying hard to distract themselves by reading books and surfing the internet. Suddenly, they heard a rustle near the window and looked at the direction of the sound. "Freddie! Oh my God! Look at you! You're back!" shouted Anita. "Thank goodness," said Neelam. Freddie squeaked. This was his trip out of the room. He had gone out of the window to explore the world. He seemed to have had good fun. Their tiny pet was not that tiny anymore. In the next few weeks, he became more active and would venture out of the window every day. However, he would come back to the room. That is his real world, and not this room. He belongs to the wild outside, said Neelam. Yes, I guess. Everyone has to grow up and leave the comfort of homes and go out to face the real world, replied Anita. Just then, Freddie swiftly came running and sat on Anita's lap. "Cheer up, girl. Look at him. We have done a good job as pet parents," said Nilam. They smiled. Freddie squealed with joy as if he meant to agree to what Nilam was saying. Here ends the beautiful journey of two pet mothers and Freddie. I hope you liked this story. Now it's time for you to relax and have a wonderful sleep. Good night.